Here we are. Welcome to another Sunday Musicians Café. This is the third episode, I guess. Yes, I lost the count. No, it's the third, yeah. And today we have a very nice guest, which is Agnese Contadini, very dear friend to me, and I'm gonna invite her in a second. Please let me know if you can see me, hear me properly in the chat, and yeah. Should be all fine. I'm a bit dark, I think, but it should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna invite her immediately. Let me just get this straight. How are you guys? All good? Okay, let's invite her. Coffee. What a lovely Sunday today in London, actually. It's fantastic. Hey!
Ciao!
Ciao, Agnese. How are you? All good?
Good.
Nice
And you?
to see you. Nice to see you.
Nice
You look
to
great.
meet
You look great.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Are you in London?
In
Where are
Italy.
you? Where are you at the moment? In London or Italy?
Oh, I'm in Italy.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. So you're enjoying the weather very much, I guess.
Yes, actually, in these days it's a little bit cloudy, but now it's okay.
I
Today it's a little
see. I see. So where are you out in Italy, actually?
Rimini.
Ah, okay. But normally it's a good place for the weather, right?
Yes, I mean, usually it's sunny and there is the sea, so it's nice. But yeah.
Okay.
And you?
I,
How is London? I miss it so much.
Actually, the weather is starting to get very well, very good, and yeah, we had a couple of days, very depressing days with weather. Like when you say we are under the weather, you know what
Yes, I do
it was
understand.
really bad. But
Yes,
now it's starting to get better. Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I remember the first year was crazy when I was in
Each
London.
other. Sorry, what do you say?
No, nothing. Go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Okay. No, I was saying that it's been long that we didn't see each other, right?
Yes,
Like in
too
person.
much.
It's
Too
too
much.
much.
But I'm going to London on the 13th of May, so we have to catch up.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, no, so please drop a message. Yes. What are you drinking today?
Coffee, of course.
Coffee. Nice. Coffee team. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's needed.
We're Italian. We can't help ourselves, right?
Exactly. And also, I mean, I was waiting actually for you to drink coffee, otherwise I would have drank it 1 hour ago.
Yes, because in Italy now it's 3 o'clock.
Exactly.
So, and we all have coffee after lunch, right? Yeah.
Straight after.
It's mandatory. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, let me say something to of Agnese. I mean, we are very good friends, and I think in both of our profiles on Instagram we have pictures together, I guess, and because we graduated together last year, right?
Yeah.
From a master degree, and oh, we have an interesting question from Ugne. We might answer this. You should answer this. Is coffee bad before concert? Okay,
Well,
we'll talk about this afterwards. I mean, I have
yeah,
some about it.
yeah.
And YouTube, obviously. And so you did a master degree in the Royal College of Music here in London. Agnese is a fantastic harpist. She's been really winning competitions around, and you know, she played in Wigmore Hall, and yeah, she's absolutely outstanding, and she's doing many competitions at the moment and winning them. And
Thank you.
and actually, I would like to talk about this because I think you have a lot of experience in competition wise, and also like competitive attitude and everything. And I admire you very much because you're such a humble person and so simple, but at the same time very competitive and so competent. You know, like it's not just the sake of competition, but you actually very competent, and it's very inspiring to watch you, and also like just being a musician, you know. And Agnese is, wait a second, I had here your TV. I lost it. Okay. Congrats, Pietro. Congrats. What a host. I'm a terrible host.
He is an amazing host, I have to say.
No, no, I'm not.
No, you are, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Are you planning to study more, or you finish with your studies?
Well, I'm actually finishing the artist diploma on the
Ah,
1st
very
of June.
good. That's it. That's it. You're doing.
Yes,
For
yes, exactly. But after that, I'm done. So
that
yeah.
who doesn't know, the artist diploma is a course after the master you can do. It's very selective, and very few musicians can do a diploma. In Italy, it's not recognized as much as it is in England or in the Anglo-Saxon world, let's say. And but definitely it's something that really supports the career of a musician as a performer. So it's really good and prestigious course, and I'm very happy you're doing it.
No, actually, I think it's very useful because at some point when you get your master degree, you find yourself to face, the professional world.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy. I think, in particular, for preparing competitions and auditions, if maybe someone wants to get an orchestral job or a position like that, or doing solo competitions, you always need a teacher or someone to listen to you. I think it's not something you can do by yourself. And I think the artist diploma is a good course to actually face the professional career, but also to keep studying and keep having feedbacks.
Of course. No, you touch a very important point, which is having always someone else supporting you, professionally wise. So many times I think we musicians, we think that everything is on our own and it's just our merit and our efforts, and we build a lot of frustration from that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we feel alone. Basically, we feel like we are competing. Because this is really related with how do you say? I mean,
the preparation.
so we build this kind of competitive attitude, which is sometimes is good, obviously, and life is hard, and everybody knows. But places are less than people, obviously. But also, the other side of the medal is that we kind of forget that it's not just on our efforts, but it's also the network you have, the people supporting you.
Absolutely. It's mostly, I think it's how you are able to ask and accept for the others people's support, because it's very fundamental, I think. I mean, honestly, if I didn't have the support of my family, of my friends, of my teachers in particular, I couldn't do all the competitions or auditions. It's very, very important.
Would you say? Would you say that because this is kind of it could sound a bit rhetorical as well, like having support of the family. I mean, obviously, but actually, there are people that don't have support of family. How would you behave in that sense? How would we could suggest to someone that has a family that doesn't support him or her, and like in their job, because music is really, you really need to think out of the box, right?
Yes.
So.
Well, I think you can always somehow look for the support of your friends and teachers, because in the end, I mean, from my point of view, at least, when I have to prepare a competition or an orchestral audition, I always have a plan. I know that there is, of course, the time I have to spend by myself, lonely with the instrument, learn the notes, learn the dynamics, give an interpretation. But then I know that in this plan, going from the very first note you learn of a piece to the level you need to face a competition or an audition, there is always a moment in which I need a feedback from my teachers, or I need a feedback from my friends. I need them to listen to a run through of the pieces. So it's not always the family to support.
Absolutely. No, it's like having always this kind of objective mirror that tells you what you actually, what they feel, how they perceive your performance. Sometimes it's so subjective, obviously, that we think it's like perfect, or maybe it's super wrong. We think it's like we are damaging something, but actually it's not. And
No,
so
exactly.
it is very important, the objective reality of.
Absolutely, because after a lot of time, many hours we spend by ourselves with the instrument, we lose the connection somehow with the way we listen to music, and it becomes very subjective. We get used to the things we are playing, and we lose completely the track of what we need to fix, what is convincing and what is not. Because I mean, also honestly, I find very, very useful to be listened by non-musicians sometimes.
Yes.
Because just like that, if something doesn't work, they can tell you, I didn't understand.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And the more I play, the more I find useful to be judged in a way by someone that doesn't know anything about music. Because actually,
Absolutely.
if you think about it, when we have a concert, we have a performance, the majority of the people in the audience will be people that actually don't have a clue of what you're playing. Unless you are playing like in a conservatoire or like, in a specific place. But in a normal performance, it's like 80 or 70, maybe even 90, I think sometimes, percent of the people, they just want to be entertained. So, and they are looking for a specific entertainment, which is classical music or, like related to it. But they don't actually know like all the technical aspects or, the little nuances. So
Exactly.
we need to go straight to that point to communicate, This is part of communication. I think one day I will talk about this because it's very important to know that we are actually communicating something. We are not just showing off our skills or whatever,
No,
right?
that's an interesting topic.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Because we need to talk to the audience.
that's
Sorry, there is my cat crying. If you hear noises.
it's true. Do you ever? I mean, I don't know if you're the kind of person that does it, but for example, last Sunday Musician Café we had Andre, and he does it a lot. And he introduced the pieces. He talks to the audience.
Yeah, I always
Breaking the ice of the, like. Do you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, nice. Good.
Yes, because it's. I mean, I just try to think if I were an auditor, if I were listening to a classical music concert, and I have to listen to Bach Suite, and then I have to listen to Hindemith Sonata.
Correct.
I don't know anything maybe about them, about the social environment, about the history, their life, their personalities. How can I actually understand everything about a piece? I mean, it's actually very interesting also to listen without knowing things. But for someone who is not related, I think, to our job, to music, or maybe doesn't know anything about it, it's very interesting and very important to be able to communicate what are we playing, because also it's what we understood about what we are playing.
Absolutely.
And makes everything much more clear, I think.
I think this is this is the limitation, if we want to say that, of complicated music, which we are in, right? So classical music is true, it's complicated. It can be easy, obviously. Classical music is such a broad concept. I mean, there are small pieces in classical music and symphonies. So obviously a nocturne is different from a symphony. So, in classical music, we have such a broad concept. But in general, we could say that it's complicated music. So it's not to elaborate it and to absorb it, it's quite complicated. So what you said is so true, that if you have like a minimum knowledge of it, it's much easier to then approach it in a really relaxed way without being like too much distracted. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me go back a bit to start back because I was really interested in what you said before, and you said I always when I prepare a competition, I do prepare a plan. Do you actually write down like analogic style, like paper? I'm logic, so
Well,
I'm
I used to do it.
really good with
Um,
technology. But reality is that sometimes paper and pen is what it works. Or what do you do?
well, I used to write a plan just like that. I put it on the fridge, but now I know that the plan is usually always the same because now
Okay.
I got a certain experience
Okay.
with competitions and stuff. So,
Would you
um, yeah.
would you tell us what you actually write down, or what you do, or maybe it's too personal. You don't want to
No,
share.
no, no, it's okay. My plan consists always in, of course, deciding proper repertoire. It depends on what you're going to do. Of course, if it's an orchestral audition, maybe you have to choose a free choice. It has to be related to that. So, of course, finding a appropriate repertoire always. Well, actually, before that, I think everyone should decide why, which is the reason why we are doing the
I
competition or the
love.
audition. That's very important because if we don't know the reason, then our approach towards the stress, towards the competitive environment is going to be very toxic sometimes. I saw it in many people. So we always have to remember every day towards our goal that we do it because we want to maybe get better at something. We want to try that repertoire because we love it. I think going for a competition or an audition should never be related just to a prize because if we don't get it, then it's wasted, wasted time, and it's
Absolutely.
not.
Guys, takes notes. I mean, this is gold. I totally agree. And it's so important. I mean, one of my mantra that I've been repeating myself like for the last 2 or 3 years is why you do it is not what you do, not what you do, but is
Sorry, Pietro, just 1 second. They ring. Just really 1 second.
actually I this topic. So it's not what you do, is why you do it. And I think Agnese is so right when he says that. And we don't have to go in competitions or auditions if it's just for the sake of doing that, you know. And honestly, it's why you do it that it leads you and motivates you to carry on that path, or maybe just do another thing. And
Okay,
honestly,
sorry. They ring at the door. It's a friend, a surprise. Didn't expect.
you can invite her, invite her.
No, it's okay. Martina, vuoi venire?
Amazing. I love
I'm
this.
doing an interview with my friend Pietro
Sorry
from
for
college.
bothering you.
No,
She's
no worries.
amazing. She's another one who knows about competitions
Oh,
and things because she always has to do some amazing experience around the world, but with the sport. So,
okay.
yes.
What do you do? What do you do? Which sport do you do, Martina?
At skydiving.
Oh, fantastic.
Outdoor and indoor skydiving.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have the courage to do it. Absolutely.
She's amazing.
It's really good. Please, you want to join us and you can have a conversation about competition. Otherwise, as
Well,
you
I can stay here. I mean, maybe not in the video call, but next to her, so
right,
I can enjoy the history.
welcome to Martina in the Sunday Musicians Café. Even though she's not a musician, I love it.
She's amazing. Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
She's a friend, and actually, as we were saying before, friends are very important in many moments towards the preparation, of course.
No,
They always listen to me. Actually, before the COVID, no, during the COVID, at the very beginning of the pandemic, I was supposed to graduate in Parma, and I had basically 1 full year in which I couldn't perform, of course, and I was like choosing a very tough repertoire. I've never played in front of audience. And that was one of the moments in which I discovered how amazing it is to play run through for friends. You should always do it before auditions and competitions.
I see the point, and I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, yeah. No, it's fantastic that you. I mean, I do have as well a lot of friends, which sometimes I trust more than musicians, and I don't know if this is because of me, I'm biased or whatever. But on a lot of friends outside of the music world that actually they are in sports, they are athletes, professional athletes, or businessmen, or and or lawyers, and I have a lot of friends who have a different point of view. Obviously, they don't get the technical aspects of it, but it's so useful to have their feedback. And
Yeah.
I really get the point. You're absolutely right. So let's answer to Ugne. I don't know if she's still.
Ugne,
I don't
yes.
know her, right?
Yeah, absolutely. About the coffee.
Played yesterday with Vengerov, I think, and she's doing great, and she's
Brava.
she's
Great.
really good
Good
violinist.
luck with that.
Yeah. I don't know actually if she's still in the chat, but we can answer to that question in any case. We
Absolutely.
can skip the part that they want. So about coffee before performing or competition. Personal experience. I don't drink coffee before any competition or performances because I actually start shaking. And I remember clearly once, I do drink coffee a couple of, I would say like at least 2 hours before, at least 2 hours before, but not after, within those 2 hours before the concert or the competition, I don't drink coffee. And I think, I remember clearly once I had this competition, and I was drinking not coffee, but I had coffee before, and then I was eating those pocket coffee, like chocolate with coffee inside.
That's tricky.
That tricked me because I thought it was not coffee, but actually it is coffee inside. So I had like 3 or 4 of them, and my heart was beating so much, and yeah, I was like, it's not normal. What's happening? Like normally it doesn't happen. And then I realized that actually those chocolates with coffee inside were the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know what about you. What's your experience with coffee?
No, I totally agree. Well, honestly, I do drink coffee in the morning because I realize that if you are used to it and you don't drink it, you can get headache. So actually it can be worse. But before performing, it's good not to drink coffee at least for 2 hours before the performance, because if you are particularly maybe anxious or stressed, or maybe you are also just tired because you didn't sleep well, you are gonna shake for sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's true also that actually if you are used to drink coffee, obviously you have to drink coffee. You basically, I think the best you can do is just normal day.
Yeah, normal day and having a very big breakfast, I think. Because honestly, in my very last audition, I was so nervous in the morning when I woke up that I didn't manage to actually have a proper breakfast because I thought I'm very nauseous. I feel. And I was not expecting this whole audition to be like 8 hours or so.
Okay.
And in the end, of course,
8 hours waiting.
8 hours with 2 rounds. It was semi-final and final of an orchestral audition. And of course, in the final, I was too tired and I didn't handle the tension well. So it's very important to eat also a lot before. Energetic food. I don't know, like eggs. I don't know, fruit.
Proteins and carbs.
Proper.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And how do you cope? It's very interesting. How do you cope with all the body reactions that you have? For example, I yawn a lot. I don't know what. Yawn. Yeah, before.
But while performing?
No, before.
Oh, no? Okay.
I yawn. Yeah, I yawn or pee. Obviously, you have the you want to go pee.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that? Because what I did I can tell afterwards, but I'm more interested in what you do.
Well, honestly, what I try to do is to breathe normally, because when you realize your body is reacting against the stress and the competitive attitude you have to have, somehow you need to remind yourself that it's okay that you are not calm in that moment, that it's normal, and that as soon as you're gonna be there, you just play and you enjoy it. So I think I just let my body react. And then when I'm there, I breathe a lot. It's very important. And actually, something that I discovered very recently is that it's very important also to breathe here. Someone told me that breathing here creates anxiety somehow, but it's not true.
Okay.
Like, I was always trying to breathe just with my belly somehow,
Okay.
but then when you're stressed and you have to face an audience and you are in that kind of situation, your shoulders get closed somehow. I realized this.
Wow.
And if you breathe also here and you open towards the audience, you open towards the instrument in my case, because I lay it here.
To embrace the instrument, basically.
Yes, if you breathe also here, everything is gonna go fine.
You know, ironically, they always told me the opposite.
Yeah, I've been told the opposite as well.
Diaphragm, focus on the diaphragm, and they was always breathing back and avoiding doing this. You know, like.
Not deep, of course not, but be open. There's also breathing here, also in the belly, of course, not
Yes.
just until here, but trying to be open puts you also in the right mindset to be open to any kind of unforeseen event there can be on stage, and there are so many always.
Yes.
So yeah.
Do you have any interesting anecdotes on competitions, or like you feel, I don't know, you know, if you want to share, or like good things or also bad things that happen to you?
You pick one, good or bad.
Okay, let's do bad. Let's do bad thing.
Let's do bad. I knew it.
The most of the audience.
Okay, so once, well, this was the worst for sure. Once I was in a competition in which basically all the contestants were supposed to stay in the hotel that was related anyway to the competition, so that if you didn't take your own instrument there, you could have some harps arriving somehow.
Okay.
From the staff. There was like this guy taking around harps from one room to the other one.
Okay.
And the harps, of course, were always the same. They were shared between all the contestants. And so, well, I was supposed to play the day after for another round of this competition. I received the instrument. I was supposed to practice just 3 hours, because they were letting you play 3 hours the instrument, then they were coming back to pick it up and take it around to another contestant. So, well, I open the instrument, I take out the cover, and I see that there is a broken string in the harp. Then I mean, yeah, I thought, okay, well, normal. But then I check better, and usually in the harp, the string breaks either at the top or at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was broke in between.
No way.
It was very weird. And also I thought, well, someone had this instrument before. Why? I don't want to say, I don't know. But the thing is that someone had that instrument before. So why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you change the string?
Wow.
You know, it's weird. And it's weird that in 2 seconds, 1 minute, whatever, in which the staff was taking the harp in my room, the string broke just in the middle, you know.
But that's very nasty. I mean, that's really evil. Why you would do that?
I don't know. Maybe
so, like,
just to.
You think they would take a scissor and cut the string? No.
I think so.
That's really evil. I mean, well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure. Do you think this is driven by competitive attitude or just, I don't know?
Well, I always think this is led by the wrong reasons why you are there.
Of course.
Of
How,
course.
how did you manage? Did you substitute the string?
Well, I looked for another string to change, but I was not having my strings there because it was another country. So I went to the reception, they were not having the strings, so I stayed 2 hours without the string. I did what I could, and then someone came 1 hour before my practice time was going to be over and replaced the string. But of course, I mean,
Imagine, so just for the audience to understand, I think there are musicians in the audience, but maybe there are not, and some followers are not. So imagine you are doing a race in Formula 1, okay, and someone punctures your tire, like, and you don't have a tire to change. So, I mean, it's completely evil. It's damaging you all the way to the end. So
yeah.
it's really bad.
But in the end, I think the person who is more damaged is the one who acts this way, because of course you don't need to damage someone else to be better or to win something. You have to win because you deserve it. So
inspiring. Thank you so much. This is so inspiring. This is a really good story. Do you have also a good one, so we balance it? Do you have a good anecdote?
Good. Well, I would say maybe the very last solo competition I did, because it's the closest one. It was, so this was another unforeseen, but it turned out to be fine. Basically, I sent the program to them, and then I changed it because it was too long. I realized it was too long, so I cut one piece from the first round. And I realized that on the program of the competition, which was public, so there was audience, there was still this piece in the program. But then I was very nervous. I was taking care about other things. I had to warm up. I was, I don't know, all over the place, and I didn't think about telling the jury that there was this mistake. So basically, I played for the first round, and at the end of every performance, the audience was clapping and they were happy and saying bye and going. So I finished, no one is clapping. I didn't know what to do. I just stand up and said thank you, and I went away. Then someone from the staff came to me and said, but why didn't you play one piece? You're gonna be, eliminated. You should have played it. Then we sorted out. We found the email in which I was changing the program, so everything went okay in the end. But yeah, wow. There are always many things.
But I mean, that must be so embarrassing. Also, I mean, one of the worst situations ever for a musician is playing and nobody claps.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I don't want to say that we live for the claps, but I mean, for us, clapping is like the reward that the audience liked it, right? Exactly. And if nobody claps, it's like, oh, my career is over.
Exactly, yes. You imagine, I felt in my heart like...
Yeah, of course. Wow. We are so dramatic always in our reactions normally. So for us, it's like the end of the world.
Yeah, yes.
Absolutely. Nice. This is very good. So when is your next competition? Do you have any competition on plan? Or?
Well, I'm planning just for our orchestral auditions. I have one in June and then another one, which is gonna be maybe autumn. I don't know, because they didn't decide the date yet.
Okay.
But yeah, mainly orchestra things for now.
Do you feel a different? You have a different. I mean, obviously the repertoire is different, and also the purpose, the goal of it is different. But in your attitude, you change, like the famous plan you were doing. Do you change attitude? You change approach if it is an audition for an orchestra or a competition to win money?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. I think Well, and it's something actually that I am trying to do better now, because after the last audition, as I was telling you, we can reach the moment and be super prepared, and we can go through the repertoire 100 times and do it well. But then if that day you don't handle the tension well, it's not gonna be your best day to perform, you know. So now that I experienced a little bit more the orchestra auditions, I can say that yes, it's important to plan differently things.
Okay.
Because in particular when the day of the audition is approaching, because usually when we go for orchestral auditions, everything is somehow scheduled a little bit worse than solo competitions, because there you have maybe a fixed schedule, you know, when you're gonna perform and everything. For example, at least here in Italy for orchestral auditions, you just know there are gonna be 70 applicants. You go and you don't know how many are going to show up. So, for example, last week I was supposed to play, I was the number 21, 20, 21, something like that. And in the end, I played and I was the fifth. So
What?
I was expecting, yeah, because then it was screened and we had to pick one number to be anonymous, and I was the fifth. So I was prepared in my head to perform in the afternoon. I performed at 10 in the morning. So
Wow. I mean, but this is, you really need to be like used to it, because I
yeah, maybe, yeah,
mean, reaction can be like disaster. I mean, you
yeah,
can say, no, I cannot. I mean, I don't feel, you need to prepare. I mean, psychological preparation is so important. I mean,
absolutely.
you break all of that, is like, okay, you're, you know, like you're damaging me. Wow, interesting. And I mean, this is actually what I'm most interested in, and because as I know you as a person, and you're such a good person, and such a tender person, and so humble as well, as I said at the beginning, and I really want to know, what do you think? I mean, it's not like a secret, but what do you
What do
think
you?
is the best way to keep yourself on the ground and humble while winning competitions and be like what you are at the moment, so like a star? And
No, no. Well,
you see,
I think.
she is so, you know, okay, modest, you know, he's humble. I
Well,
can
I think it's good
keep
to.
up.
Well, I think mostly that yes, we have our day of glory in which we must be satisfied of our achievement. Okay, we won a prize. Now we rest. We go to the spa. We go to have aperitivo, whatever. But
Nice.
then the day after, you are again you have to do something for to improve again, you know, because in a competition, of course, you win a prize, you reach the level for
Yes.
the repertoire you're playing, for the way you face the anxiety, you
Mm.
face the stress and everything. But then professional life goes on and doesn't stop to your award, to your achievement. So you need to go back on the ground
Yeah.
and start to build up again something for your next goal, I think.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
recognize, of course, that since, as I said at the beginning, we don't do it by ourselves, I
Yes.
think.
Let's repeat this. Very important. It's not what you do, but it's why you do it.
Yeah,
So this is an important mantra that I keep repeating myself also in the last
bravo,
two. Yeah. It's
exactly.
important. I mean, obviously, what to do, you have to know what to do. but what it drives you is why you do it. So sometimes you don't have to do things that you think you are supposed to do, but rather follow what you actually feel as a vocation, as a really a mission, right? And yeah, that's so important. Wow, thank you so much, Agnese. Was so inspiring. I would ask you so many questions, because inspiring musicians and person as well. So
No, thank you for inviting me. This is a very good
oh,
project.
thank
So congratulations to you.
My heart.
Bravo. You should do something in which you know, a recording or something like that, in which you talk about how to handle social media and how you can use it, because
Yes.
I think you do it
Oh,
well. So it can be inspiring for everyone.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very happy you say this. I mean, I'm really bad, honestly. If you look what is outside there, I mean, people are crazy. I mean, they have managers for social media and stuff. I don't. I do everything on my own and with the help of someone sometimes, but it's just on my own. So I'm learning. I'm really learning. So I don't want to give a lecture to anyone.
No,
I
but you
actually
can teach us while you learn. So
it's true.
in the end, we never finish to
No,
learn.
well,
So in the meanwhile, you
maybe
can share it.
I will talk about this. I will talk about
Bravo.
this. Bravo. Okay, so
Okay.
let's meet in London.
Yeah,
When do you come? When do you come?
13th of May, and I stay until the 17th. And
Fun-
then I will go again in June, because there is the final recital. So,
Ah, I see.
yeah.
What time is it actually? Let me write it down because otherwise I forget.
It's
Sorry, you disappeared.
yeah, no, there was, because I have the limit to use Instagram every day, because otherwise maybe
You see? Ah, fantastic example on how
exactly.
to handle social media.
You don't go with the thing. No, yes, what was it? 4 p.m. on 4th of June in concert hall.
Okay,
So in case you wanna join, then we celebrate. That's
fantastic.
important.
That's it. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, Agnese, thank you so much for
Grazie,
to attending
Pietro.
Musicians Café, and hope to see you soon. And
Yeah,
please follow the next episodes and
absolutely.
support as you can and as you are already doing it. And thank you so much for the inspiring words
Thank
and
you.
insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Pleasure.
Ciao. See you
Ciao,
soon.
ciao,
Ciao,
Agnese.
ciao, ciao.
So, guys, Agnese is incredible, isn't it? I mean, she's so inspiring, and she's really at the top of her career at the moment. I mean, she will grow even more, I'm sure, because she's doing such well career, such a good career. She's winning competitions around, and she's so inspiring. And really, what she said, I agree totally with her when she said it's not what you do, but it's why you do it. And it's so true that we tend to forget that actually as musicians we can do many things. We don't have to follow one specific path. It's not it's not an imposed need. I don't like that. I really don't like when people uh, look at you as a musician and they ask you they you know they think you're supposed to be winning competitions or perform in the best halls in the world, but we are so limited in that sense. If you think about it, if you don't know what to do, it's a blessing. It's actually good. I mean, otherwise you are kind of forced to do what the other people say to you have to do it. So never mind. I'm talking too much. And thank you so much, guys, for really supporting this little project of mine. And next week we have another guest, obviously, and I will post the name and the reminder as usual for Instagram. And thank you for coming in this live chat and supporting. I hope really that if you have any questions or concerns or topics you would like to talk about, please drop a message in the chat or leave a comment. All the lives are always recorded, so they will be online. They will stay online. And please tell me if you want to talk about some specific topics. I saw there were some questions today, so I would be very, very happy to answer them. And if I can, or some guests, I'm sure they would answer better than me. So, okay, I will end the chat, the live now, and see you next Sunday. Thank you so much for coming. Bye bye.